In this video, we are going to see the sequence step-by-step instrumentation, how to proceed in large canals.
Genius Proflex technique for large canals. Let's discuss the Genius Proflex instrumentation technique focusing on large canals anatomies. Examples of large canals are distal canals of lower molars, lower premolars, and palatal canals of upper molars. To demonstrate the Genius Proflex instrumentation sequence, it was developed a training block printed on a high-definition 3D printer. After a laborious job of detecting the mandibular molar morphology through micro-CT and transferring it to a CAD/CAM model, we were able to reproduce in one clear block the three most frequent types of root canal morphologies. The technique will be demonstrated with Medidenta's Genius Proflex instruments. These files are composed of a USA Fort Wayne's nickel titanium alloy, with both rhomboid triangular cross-section, or double S cross-section. Depending on the file, the customized heat-treated nickel titanium alloy can be predominantly on the austenitic phase, on a perfect balance between austenitic and martensitic, or more on the martensitic phase. The Genius Proflex recommendations for speed and torque vary according to the file group. The instruments must be sterilized before use, and it is recommended for single use only. For large canals instrumentation, it is suggested to use the Genius Proflex Intro Pack in conjunction with the Genius Proflex Large Files Pack and the Orifice Shaper Pack. Depending on the desired final apical enlargement, final files 40, 50, and 60 can be used after the initial files. The large files receive the gold heat treatment, which gives them a more martensitic flexible approach. The instrumentation sequence is in the guide attached to the package. The distal canal of the block represents the majority of large canals anatomy. It is straight and flat from mesial to distal, and equally straight and large from buccal to lingual. Before starting the instrumentation sequence itself, some important procedures must be highlighted. It is always good to remember that rubber dam absolute isolation is mandatory in endodontics. First, we will clean the pulp chamber and prepare the canal's entrance using the Sonus E17 conical-shaped ultrasonic tip, with constant irrigation, gently touching the access preparation sidewalls. With the pulp chamber clean and the canal entrances prepared, we're going to add a lubricant that contains hydrogen peroxide to facilitate the canal's scouting and help with disinfection. Then we pour sodium hypochlorite to start cleaning, disinfecting, and removing organic tissue from the cervical and middle thirds. Note the champagne effect of the chemical reaction between the RC prime lubricant and sodium hypochlorite. Let's start using a number 10 stainless steel K file, or larger, to scout the canal, by inserting the instrument freely in an up and down movement up to the temporary working length. Proceed with the Orifice Shaper 3008 file up to the temporary working length, or until finding resistance. Use brushing movements laterally against the canal walls. Copious irrigation, preferably with the Sonus polysonic tip, must always be performed after 10 seconds of file usage. With the pulp chamber full of irrigating solution, determine the working length using a number 15 K file and an apex locator. Place the instrument inside the canal, and advance to the temporary working length. With the instrument in position, install the file connector, and gently advance apically with oscillatory movements, until the apex locator points to position 0. Remove the file connector and proceed with a smooth enlargement with the file in position using short oscillatory movements. The next instrument in the sequence is the Genius Proflex 2504. This file can be used in rotation, or even reciprocation with Genius motor, or the new ACE cordless endodontic motor. Do not force or use pecking movements. If resistance is encountered, pull back the instrument until you release it, and proceed with brushing movements. Do not remain more than 10 seconds with the instrument active inside the canal. Copious irrigation and patency with the K file 15 should always be performed after 10 seconds of file usage. In this example, we are going to finalize the apical enlargement with a 4004. Depending on anatomy, larger files can be used. Finish with copious irrigation. The Genius Proflex files promote the optimum space for the best fitting master gutta percha cone. Thanks for joining us in this presentation. For more videos and information, go to www.medidentaendo.com.